and small enterprises. They employ a high proportion of the youth. They are employing over 80% of the new jobs that are created every year. So the more the reason why we need to support them. Chair, also, we are thinking about the future. And when we think about the future generation, we talk about the environmental issues to take care of. There are so many documentaries that have been put, whether with the rivers, whether with our lakes, or any other water body. And one of the things that is very clear is that we need to clean up so that we can take care of the future generation. Each time we talk about poverty, a key element that is there in poverty eradication is food poverty. There are several aspects, initiatives towards reducing food poverty, but we need to work harder because if we can reduce food poverty, we would go very far in achieving what is there as far as the Vision 2030 is concerned. Chair, if you may allow, I would want my colleague to take up a few elements. Dr. Kivoy, you can take up on corruption.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. We have also made a number of recommendations or suggestions as far as tackling the menace of corruption is concerned. And one of them is simplifying the taxation so that we can lower incidence of fraud and encourage compliance by business owners and people who do business in the country. Also, we are recommending that we strengthen the vetting process of those seeking public offices, including political office. Because at the moment, as a country, we don't have a framework of vetting individuals who are seeking public office. When you are vetting an individual, what should we be looking for in this Kenyan who wants to hold a public office? Then also we recommend the amendment of the Judicature Act, that is for the judiciary, which at present limits the number of judges to sit in the Court of Appeal, and review the conditions of service of judges and the magistrates. And I'm sure right now we are aware that the judiciary says they have a problem with the personnel to handle the number of cases in our courts. We also recommend that we enact and operationalize the Lifestyle Audit Bill 2019 that is still in the draft stage in the National Assembly, because that one will help in stopping individuals who want to enrich themselves using public offices. Then also the issue of or enactment of the Whistleblower Protection Bill, and then enhance awareness. The Witness Protection Agency. How many Kenyans know that we have got the Witness Protection Agency and its function? Then on the other pillar of devolution, which is which we are in our second government, we have the issue of public health, and we recommend that a body be created to handle issues of personnel in public health in our counties. Why? Because right now a doctor working in Nairobi County cannot transfer to Turkana County if he wants to. He has to resign. And that one, I think, can be done. Then also still under devolution, we are recommending that the County Government Act 2012 be amended to provide for transition processes and procedures for the assumption of office of county and deputy governors. We are aware that we have a county that has not had a deputy governor for a long time, and partly because the law was silent on the function of the deputy governor, and must we have a deputy governor? The law doesn't say that. So that one should be reviewed. Then we are also recommending the issue of universal health care be made a priority. We revamp NHIF and minimize cases of wastage of funds in that institution. because that's the only institution that will play a pivotal role in provision of universal health care to all Kenyans. Then when it comes to the issue, the security and safety of Kenyans, we are aware that the government is on top of that, in the issue of policing reforms, ensuring that we have an effective policing agency. We have IPOA, we have got the National Police Service Commission. However, the National Coroner Service Act is yet to be operationalized. We know that the Coroner Act was passed, but it is yet to be operationalized. So we recommend that it be operationalized. Then also, we strengthen vetting of individuals who seek to join policing agencies. Because by the time you reach the rank of chief inspector, you must have gone through the process. Now, if you are not properly vetted, then you will give the agency a bad image. So we recommend strengthening of vetting of those individuals. Then also we prioritize policing reforms to ensure that policing agencies are people-centered. Policing agencies should not be used for retributive or harassing of people who are just minding their own business. They should be people-centered and humane in their operation. We have got Nyumba Kumi initiative that is currently being done in the country. We need to build on that and ensure that the policing agencies partner with communities to have a people-centered and humane security environment. Then we also recommend the creation of a gender desk in all police stations to address cases of gender-based violence. All police stations should have a gender desk to address cases of people who abuse children, people who abuse each other, as far as the issue of gender-based violence is concerned. And then that will ensure that there's privacy, because some of those cases require privacy. And now we have this desk, it will help address that. Then also we are recommending the strengthening of the independence of the National Police Service Commission by delinking matters of personnel and salaries from the presidency. This will ensure that the commission is independent and also ensure that the reforms being done are seamless and are continuous. Also, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, needs to be equipped with a modern forensic laboratory so that it can handle the ever-emerging nature of criminal networks and the dynamic nature of crime across the globe. We also are recommending that we need to effectively operationalize the Private Security Regulation Act, because most of us, our people who provide security where we stay are private security actors. So we must ensure that we develop a serious framework on how private security actors are able to work hand in hand with policing agencies so that we have a safe environment for all Kenyans and all citizens. Then the other one is the issue of food and drugs safety controls. Most of the food that is being consumed, if you've been reading the papers and the media, print and electronic, we are being told that the food people are consuming is not safe. So we must ensure that we enhance the ability to ensure that the food that is being consumed by citizens is safe, to provide it, to ensure it's not harming Kenyans. Then the issue of cyber bullying is a new crime. We strengthen and create an awareness in the country. How do citizens defend themselves from cyber bullies? How do we defend ourselves from terrorists? So that awareness needs to be created. Then lastly, we have got the issue of commissions and cross-cutting issues. And one of the recommendations that we have made is the establishment of a consumer protection authority to protect compliance with and enforce high consumer protection standards and improve the quality of goods and products that are being sold to our citizens, that are being consumed by Kenyans. Then we also recommend that the national chemist devolve its functions to all counties, the 47 counties, the national chemist, to help address some of the issues that have to be referred to Nairobi, and it takes longer to address those issues. Then the other one is the issue of constitutional commissions and independent commissions. And we are of the view that there are some commissions that are handling cross-cutting issues. For example, the National Gender and Equality Commission and the Kenya National Commissions on Human Rights, they handle almost the same things. The issue of marginalization, the issue of discrimination. Is it possible that they can be merged, or how can they operationalize or do their function so that we are able to reduce the pressure these commissions exert on the taxpayer? Also, we have got the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, and the function that that commission does can be done by the DCI, because they are the ones who will take individuals to court, and I believe they have the best prosecutors and the investigators. So how can we ensure that NCIC and the DCI, because there's what we call duplication of roles. Then also the Teacher Service Commission, how can it work with the Public Service Commission? Or can it be made an authority in the Ministry of Education? Then lastly, but not least, we have got the issue of the government-owned enterprise bill. We are recommending that to rationalize the parastatals in this country by passing the government-owned enterprise bill. This is because there are some parastatals, there are some institutions that were supposed to generate revenue for the government, but they have ended up being a burden to the taxpayer. They are not generating revenue for the government as it ought to have been in its creation. And the issue of commissioners, sir, in those constitutional commissions, should they serve on part-time basis or on full-time basis? That's something we are recommending that needs to be given serious consideration. Should they serve on full-time basis or on part-time basis? Then lastly, the Independent and Electoral and Boundaries Commission should be strengthened to enhance its independence. When we talk about passing of the lifestyle audit, we need to also look at the IEBC. How should we strengthen it? How should we make sure that there's very little interference or no interference at all in the operation of this commission, so that we have quality leadership and quality governance in the country. Now, lastly, the issue of increasing the money that is taken to counties. And we are of the view that we need to take care to ensure that we are not encouraging wastage in counties. Because if you read reports that are released by the Auditor General's office and also the Controller of Budget, you know that there's a lot of wastage or pilferage of public funds. So how do we ensure that the funds being taken to counties are not being wasted or used for things that are not going to benefit citizens at a community level? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much for that presentation, and you'll take some questions and clarifications as I wait for the hands to go up. Mine is first. When you talked of your mandate, Kenya has been talked of as a country that develops ideas, develops policies, which end up being borrowed and implemented in other countries and not implemented in our own country. From where you sit in your mandate, channeling policies, advising on policy, where is the problem? Where is the missing nexus? You start Konza City, it's now being implemented in, I don't know, Botswana or wherever. Where is the problem? Secondly, given that one of our mandates is to tease out the policy issues that have arisen from our report, And we have seen you have already gone theme by theme. If we were to give you a list that these are our recommendations, would you be able to tell us, this one, there's no policy. This one, there's a policy that is there, but will have to be improved. Here, you'll have to start a new policy, and so on. Would you be able to do that for us? Any other? Florence? Joy? Any other hand?
Thank you, Chair.
Okay.
Last but not least.
Emeritus.
Tasila to use. So I would like to add on the implementation one. In addition, or as you tell us where the issues are, you could also combine that with what do we need to do to make sure the policies and laws are implemented. My second and last question is to do with the professional bodies. If I understood you well, you did say we include them in playing a role in matters, ethics, and national values. My question is, some people believe that if the professional bodies alone played their role, especially in ensuring integrity of their membership, our corruption issue would reduce significantly. And I know some of those that are statutory, there are requirements about ethics and vetting and so on. From an implementation perspective, from your experience in terms of, with respect to your work, what is the challenge? Why aren't professional bodies playing that role, especially the ones that are each as a statutory requirement?
Yeah. Yeah, Joy. Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. I have a few questions that I would like to direct to both of you, actually. First is on it was called the numerical machining complex that you talked about, that's supposed to accelerate industrialization. We know that we are now technically post-industrialization, we are into innovation. How are we looking to sort of shorten the learning curve as we talk? Because we're coming from an agrarian-based system. It sort of skipped industrialization. We're consuming things produced by other people. Is there room in your thinking about maybe shortening that learning curve to go straight to innovation as the next driver for growth, rather than concentrating on industrialization, because the Chinese have already filled that gap for us, I think. The other question, which is not a question, maybe in your paper, I would like to see it unpacked. The proposals that you have towards dealing with child offenders, sex offenders against children, and dealing with children who are victims of crimes. If you could just unpack that a little bit more, because I thought the law was pretty elaborate in terms of the Children's Act and the Sexual Offences Act. But if you've got fresh ideas, how we protect our children is always welcome. Then my last question is on the issue about vetting police officers. I'm wondering why you're looking at this happening. So the interviews prior to promotion is when we vet you afresh, so we don't promote the bad apples as it were, or how are you really looking at this? Because they're recruited as cadets. There's no rule for vetting at that point. So where exactly are you looking at vetting of police officers? Because at cadet level is just, you've got 32 teeth and you can run a mile.
Anybody? Sorry, anybody else?
Just a moment.
It's Bararo Kara. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Thermo. Oh, you, and then, okay, this you have the mic.
Okay.
Then after that, Okara.
There is a question of duplication of roles that you deeply dealt in, and probably superficially, would you be having in your policy documents a list of institutions, like for instance, commissions, that in your opinion you feel are running cross-cutting issues that are duplicating roles and could be merged together. If you could, have that list, we would be happy to share with you. And then lastly, during the process of enactment of the Higher Education Act, which we brought into existence the CHE, as the Commission of Higher Education, there was a reasoning that it was supposed to, streamline issues to do with governance in higher educational institutions. Up to date, we still have governing councils in universities, which in my view could be still duplicating them. That was supposed to have been streamlined by that act. Do you have a working concept for that act?
Okay, thank you. Now, Julius Kara.
Chairman, Prof, mine is just a clarification, a very small clarification. You are proposing a universal health care system. If I had it right. Universal health care system throughout Kenya. I am not clear what you mean by that.
I want to pick up from something Joy said, that we seem to have missed the gap between agricultural economy and innovation. Now, it said that the basics of industrialization are iron ore and coal. We have both. Is there any hope that it is something we can exploit? Because I think we are exporting